So we have been putting together these beautiful custom signature bouquets, and then we send them to you and you put them together. And I love this one. This is Tulips and Berries. I love the pinks and the purples and the blues and the greens. I love the combination of elements, and I just put this one together myself quickly, and I am definitely not a trained professional. So I wanted you to see it as is, then I'll try to build it again. We'll see how that goes. But you can just see how it distributes beautifully. It's really, really pretty. And I cut some of these, so I'm gonna take this all apart and show it to you compared to how you get it, and then we'll try to put it back together. Fingers crossed. Are you with me? We'll see how it goes. Okay, now, number one, when you get these, they're going to be, wow, I really mixed those up. So these are going to be their original form. This blueberry is a very long stem. They're gonna need wire cutters for this, but I cut, you can cut one branch off here, you can cut another branch off here, you can cut this at the base if you want, because you're not gonna need it nearly this long. Then you have a beautiful arrangement of tulips, and this is going to be 4 each in a beautiful cream with a light green on the bottom and a slight kind of mauvey purple on the top to a beautiful ombre in the pink. 4 each, isn't that nice?
So pretty.
Love those. By the way, that's Claudia, she's doing the camera today. Then we have just a beautiful wildflower bunch, and this is gonna be 5 beautiful little wildflowers, and they're kind of a lavender, so they're really pretty. Then you're gonna have this long thistle, which I love in the purple. I cut this one. And then you're gonna have one long branch of greens, and I like that these are more white at the top. So just to show you, I cut the blueberry. So you can see there's the blueberry, and I'll take it all apart. So I'll show you each piece relative to how you get it. Okay, hold on.
You did a good job putting that together.
When you start putting it together, it starts getting really entwined, and that's one of the things to do with it. So I cut this, obviously. Wait for it, wait for it. All right, the tulips required no cutting, but you can see how they are splayed. Here, the thistle, I did not cut the branches apart, but I cut the length on it. The green, this green branch, I cut into 2. So just to give you so I cut the length on this. So here's the thistle, I just cut the length. Here's the greens, and I kind of cut them apart to make 2. Again, just the length. No cutting. No cutting. Blueberries. All right, these are the elements that make up your bouquet. So I'm gonna put these right here. Now what I usually start with is kind of something for the back, and I feel like this is kind of what it's built on in a way. It's almost like a stick man, but it's kind of leafy. So kind of, a little greenery here and here. So I have 3 and 2. Then I'm gonna add my tulips. And when I'm doing my tulips, I'm kind of trying to just distribute them. So I have some of both colors on each side. Again, I am not a trained professional, so don't grade me on this. I, like you, just kind of figure it out as I go. But I'm kind of twisting, so I have some, these are the color, so I want these to really distribute throughout the bouquet. So I'm just gonna spray those out like that. I do feel like the blueberry is an extremely important element, so I'm just gonna nestle that in there. Isn't that pretty? I love the blueberries. I just think they kind of make it.
They look pretty real too.
They look so real. I can tell you that because every summer we would go up to Michigan and pick blueberries at my great uncle Lyle's blueberry farm. And so I am very familiar with blueberries in their natural state. So then this kind of goes in, and I'm just going to spread these around and kind of and this is trial and error. So if it doesn't turn out right the first time, you can just go back and do it again. It's not a problem. Don't be surprised if it doesn't turn out as well this time, because whenever I'm doing it for you, it never turns out quite as well as when I do it when no one's looking. So I'm just trying to distribute these wildflowers so that you have them distributed in and amongst. One more blueberry probably over here. And then the thistle. Oh, I think I have some more, too many tulips on that side. Wait, I'm gonna redistribute. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay. You know, trial and error. Put it all together. And then the thistle, I'm going to kind of splay out and then just kind of weave in and out. And it is, again, not an exact science for me, so if it is for you, you're just much better at it than I am. I really have had very little experience with flowers, so trust me when I tell you that you don't have to be a trained professional to get a great result when it comes to, you know, arranging flowers, and this is going to be beautifully, beautifully done. Another thing you can do is kind of pull the tulip up to give it more exposure. There you go.
Perfect.
And then you can just attach this with, I generally use rubber bands in a lot of cases or something like that with the twisty tie. I'm pretty informal about it, but then you can just attach this as you want it, drop it in any vase, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful. But the important thing about this is when you are selecting flowers, don't think that they all have to be the same length in their stem. I mean, sure, it's nice if they all come that way, but in a lot of cases, I would look at this and think, I'm not sure those go together, but yet when I start cutting stems, it's very, very easy. Another thing is that a lot of people think, I'm just gonna drop this in a vase and it's gonna look right. No, life is never that easy, trust me. But simply knowing that, hey, I'm going to cut some stems so they're all a ballpark around the same length, and then I'm going to attach it so that then it's set, right? And it doesn't matter if they're not all exactly the same length, because I'm going to put a rubber band around it, I'm going to affix it down here, then I can just drop it into any vase that I want. It's gonna hold its shape. I can even change the vase that it's in depending on the time of year, and I wanna change it, put it in a different room, and then it's not permanent. So if you put this together and you're going, it's not exactly right, just take it apart, start again. Super easy. If you have another flower that maybe you already got from us and you're going, you know what would look really good in that is that other. Don't be afraid to add things in. This is a beautiful signature on its own. I love the pinks and the purples and the textures and the shapes and the berries and the flowers, but it isn't the end all be all. If you want to add something to it, feel free to do that and really make it your signature bouquet. So this is a beautiful place to start. Don't be afraid to really bend those branches, make it dimensional. Don't be afraid to do it a few times if it's not exactly what you want, but trust me when I tell you, in the end, it's one of the prettiest things in your whole house.